Okay, I'm
Hey
back.
Aaron, is that
Hey,
good?
yeah.
Okay. Firstly, Aaron, welcome to the Zildjian Talk Show and welcome to the Zildjian India page. And thank you so much for expecting our invite at a very last minute thing.
Hey,
We
man, it's
really
my
we really
pleasure.
appreciate the time that you've taken out for us.
No worries, man. My
Yeah.
pleasure. Anything for you guys, man. Much love.
Thank you, thank you. So tell us, Aaron, how are things back in DC, and how are you coping up with this whole lockdown? And I'm sure all your concerts with the upcoming tours and stuff must be on standby, like it's on hold right now. How's it working?
Yeah, so as far as like, concerts or gigs and things like that, everything pretty much is shut down.
Okay,
There's absolutely, I mean, there's nothing
right,
happening, nothing going on whatsoever.
right,
Um,
right.
I had a few things that I'm supposed to do um, here, here in the States, but then also abroad, and just
Okay,
one thing after another, just, everything is just kind of shut down and put on pause or on hold, or, to try to postpone things or try to figure out,
yeah,
how to make things happen for the future. But just right now during this time, man, it's like everything is just shut down.
right.
As
So,
far as like how things are here, it's for me, it's cool. I'm at home, with my
right.
family, and instead of focusing on, the negative things, man, it's like I'm just focused on the positive and enjoying my time with them, with my wife, with my son. I mean, it's cool, man. Totally cool.
Yeah. Do you have some
Yeah.
kind of a practice routine going on for these days right now? Are you working on something with
Man, it's funny because I wish that I was able to play and practice more. But it's kind of tough with having everyone here at the house. My wife,
Right.
she's a teacher, so
Okay.
she has lessons that she has to teach every day
Okay.
with her students. So
Right.
that doesn't work out, for her to teach and me to be practicing my best,
Right.
6/8 composition. It doesn't work. That, and then
Right.
also my attention right now has been so focused on um, my son. Like I'm really doing a lot of. I'm kind of handling his teaching. He gets
Right.
like a packet from his school every week, and then what I do is, make sure that he's doing his classwork, make sure he's doing his homework, preparing
Right.
for his test. So
I
it's
saw
like
some stuff on the story yesterday that you posted about some art stuff as well.
yeah. That
Yeah.
was one of his projects.
Right.
We had
Right.
to go outside and find something in nature and try to make a picture of it. So, we we just trying to carry on with life the way it's supposed to be.
So cool. So, yeah, man. So, going back going back in time, tell us some more about your upbringing in the. Like, I know that your love for music began at the Pentecostal church in DC, and
Yeah.
you performed at the age of 5, like a performance thing at the age of 5, and then like what were your inspirations, your mentors when you were growing up, and like how did you where did you learn drumming from in the basics?
So for me, like you said, I grew up playing in church. So my first musical, um, I guess my first musical, you know, situations, it happened in church for me.
Right.
I was able to, at a young age, I want to say, my parents tell me that I was younger. They always say like, "Oh man, you were, I don't know, 2 or 3 when you first started playing," and I
Wow.
think that's just kind of banging on stuff or just trying to get sounds and tones and things like that.
Right. Right.
But like the first time that I remember actually playing, I was around maybe 5 or 6, and
Okay.
that was in a church setting.
Okay.
Church was cool because we had bass, you had drums, you had like organ or a keyboard. Back then it
Right.
was it was organ. We had an organist. So if we didn't have a bass player, the organist would be able to kind of keep, the bottom with his pedals, which was
Right.
cool.
Right.
But that was kind of how things all started for me.
Okay.
Um, my early inspirations were guys that were playing in church. These were the guys that I
Okay.
saw on the regular. These dudes were people that, were playing week after week, either at my church or they were playing at, churches in the area that I would be able to kind of check out and see.
Right. Right.
Um, Going from there, then it was the guys that I was able to listen to on records.
Right.
So it's really cool to be able to check out, so many different artists, via cassette tape at that time.
Right.
My parents were really good about making sure that I had good music. They were very, very watchful at first.
Right.
They just didn't want me to
Were they in
have.
music as well? Like were they in music in some way, like in like learning an instrument or
Yeah,
sing or
well,
something?
my dad, he sang. My
Okay.
dad, to this day, man, it's crazy. He's a good singer. And
Wow.
it's
Okay.
it's so funny because as a kid, he would sing at different weddings and things, and
Right.
I would be his drummer. Like I would go with him and
Nice.
his keyboard player, and we would definitely go. And he would sing at the wedding, and I would play "Ribbon in the Sky" by Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
Like
Yes.
that was like the song. So I mean, I think I got that song down pretty much from playing that as a kid,
Cool.
um, but he was the musical one in my family. My mom, she sang in the choir, but
Okay.
my dad was really a singer, and he also played some percussion. He didn't play drums as much, but he really played like bongos and congos and
Right. Right.
percussion instruments and things like
So it's
that.
there. It was there in the family, and that's why it's somehow it got you as well into music, and that playing in the church, I think, obviously made a big difference to your
Yeah, for sure.
musicality, especially. Yeah.
Huge,
Cool.
a
I've
huge,
also heard
huge
about
difference.
your Zildjian Day in New York, something that you saw, and you got inspired by Winnie Caliuta and Alex Acuna. Is that true as well? Like,
Yeah, very much
yeah,
so. So
yeah,
for me, like I said, my early influences definitely was church.
right,
But growing up, as you continue to grow and you look for different things and you're trying to evolve. That was definitely the Zildjian Day in New York was one of the
yes,
first videotapes that I saw.
okay,
Um, and this tape it blew me away because it was like the guys that were playing, like I said, Benny, Alex Acuna,
right,
um, Steve Gadd,
wow,
Tommy Campbell, like these guys,
yes,
were just playing at a level that I had never ever even
seen,
imagined. Church really was more so about really locking in and playing the parts and kind of
yes,
staying, like really, really serving the music, really playing the music. It wasn't, you never saw any solos, you never saw any crazy, ridiculous feels and
right,
expressions, and it just wasn't that. So when I actually saw this video, dude, it blew me away because I was like, I didn't even know that
right,
you could play like that. The very first time I had ever heard someone play an odd time was
right,
Vinny,
Winnie,
so it's
okay.
just like, holy smokes, this is a whole new way of playing, and that really, really got me, kind of hype and excited.
Right. So, did you like like teach drumming from a particular teacher, or it was always watching through videos, or it's just about playing in the church and like learning on the road itself?
Yeah, for me, it was always learn from, from different videos. I would
Okay.
literally go to the music store maybe once a month and I would
Okay.
go and check out whatever new videos that they had, like DCI,
Yes.
before they were Hudson, it was
Right.
DCI, and I would
Yes, I
go and I
remember
would
that.
check them out. I would see whatever videos they had. So, from the Zildjian Day to the uh, Dennis Chambers to Dave
Yes.
Weckl to Omar Hakeem, then the burden for Buddy Rich, those videos, with
Yes.
Louis Belson, Dennis, Greg Bissonette, Vinny, Steve
Right.
Gadd, Dave Weckl, so like I'm just at this point, man, I'm just super hungry for whatever
Yes.
is happening drumming wise. And those videos were a great tool. I never had like a no, that's not true. I had a teacher. My mom thought, because I was really interested in drums, my mom thought it would be good for me to have a teacher. And I
Okay.
did have one for like maybe 2 weeks.
For two
And
weeks.
yeah, well, because I decided I decided to leave just because um I don't know. I guess at that time, it starts off so slow. It starts off with, your
Yes.
singles, and then you start with your doubles, and then you get into paradiddles, and then you get
Right.
into, a six-stroke roll, and then you get. So it's like the stuff that he was showing me. I was telling my mom, like, Mom, this is a waste of money. This is a waste of
Right.
time. I know this stuff. Man, this dude is
Right.
terrible. And I ended up leaving. I ended up leaving.
Right.
But my teacher, for the most part, was just experience, and also watching and listening and trying to mimic and do the things that I had, that I was listening to or that I heard. There's a lot
Right.
of that.
Right. 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 Cool. So tell us about your first band, like your first band performance. When did that happen, and how were you part of the band, and how did that all work out? Was it called Butt Sweat by any chance?
Well, that was so terrible. Um, this was in like middle school. Here in
Right.
DC, go-go is such a huge part of the culture here. Go-go
Okay.
is such a vibe, and the guys that play, like in the go-go bands here that kind of have that swing, um,
Right.
they're artists, man. Like they really, really, it's such a vibe, it's such a culture, and it's not something that to me anybody just can hop on and just play. Like
Right.
it's really a vibe and a feel. So in middle school, I did join this band.
Okay.
We put a band together, and it was just a bunch of kids just trying to um, be like our favorite go-go artist,
Right.
and we didn't have a name. We played a talent show, and in the talent show we decided, that was going to be our name, Butt Sweat. It was going to be terrible because we said we wanted to make the people butt sweat, so we called ourselves.
Oh, okay, that was it.
Yeah,
Got it.
we want people to dance and dance so crazy that that their butt will sweat. So anyway, that's definitely
Wow.
weird and embarrassing, but it's okay. I don't mind sharing with you guys. This is a circle of trust.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So, also after I think high school, you were doing like a 9 to 5 job, if I'm not wrong, at an IT consultancy firm, like something like that.
Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, definitely.
So,
Um,
so
well, after
how
I'll
did you
tell you,
manage like just the drumming part of it and the to doing a job back to back like that?
so for me, I wasn't working professionally as a musician.
Okay.
So I definitely had to figure out what it was that I needed to do in order to, just to take care of myself. So I had
Right.
a few different jobs, man. I had worked, which was terrible because that I'm not really a suit guy.
Yeah, I think.
But
Okay.
I worked construction. My
Yeah.
father is a carpenter, and he worked these big construction gigs, and I spent some time working with him.
Right.
And then I realized that wasn't for me. So I really left computers, and that I had a friend named Val that actually worked in this computer coding company, and she kind of took me under her wing and started showing me the ropes and showing me how to kind of work in that field. And then from there, I moved on and went to this company called IQ Solutions, which I was
Okay.
able to worked there as a consultant, and basically what my job was, you know, I opened up different parameters for people to be able to access parts of the internet in this particular mainframe. I also installed programs on people's computers. Like that was really what my gig was.
Nice.
And
Okay.
I did that for a while, and um, until I got the call for Usher.
Right. Right.
But during that time, man, like I was playing with my band here, the Gideon Band, which is a
Right.
gospel band. I was playing with them, and
Yes.
then also whatever other gigs that I had, kind of on the side. Um, I would go to work in the morning,
Okay.
and then at night or on the weekends, mostly weekends, then I would play, and that's just kind of how I managed to balance everything.
Okay.
That's just kind of how it worked out for me.
So how's the experience, firstly, auditioning for Usher? Because I've heard that there were a lot of drummers who did the audition and then they finally select you. So how was the whole process of, auditioning for something like such a big artist and, what was your frame of mind and how did you get ready for that kind of an audition?
So for me, with that, it was not as hard as I guess, or as intimidating as it would sound, just because of the way that they did it. They didn't do like
Right.
a huge cattle call where they had everybody, come in at the same time and play. For
Okay.
me, what they did for this particular audition was they asked
Right.
everyone that was interested to send in a videotape of them playing.
Okay.
Uh, so, all around, the country, um, good morning, Governor. All around the country, they are, asking people to submit these tapes.
Right.
And for me, I just, went into a studio. A good friend of mine helped me out, so much. 'Cause the drums that I had at the time, um, I want to say I had like a Tama Swing Star or something like that. And
Wow.
the drums weren't so sweet.
Yeah. I know.
They were great.
Yeah.
They were great because I mean that's what I had. But
Right.
a good friend of mine from here, named Paul Edwards, we call him Buggy, was like,
Okay.
man, you gotta if you're gonna do an audition, man, you gotta make sure your drums are right. So come and take borrow these drums, and he let me borrow like his top of the
Nice.
line Tam or whatever it is that he I can't remember what it was. I think it was like a Imperial Star or something like that. I mean, it was the nicest kit that I had ever played on at that time. So he let me
Right.
borrow that, and I submitted a videotape, and because of the tape that I submitted, you know, they selected me to be his drummer. But that really kind of helped to
Right.
take the edge off. Like I think if I was in like a cattle call audition with everybody else, I don't know how things would be. I don't know how I would
Okay.
if I would have been like super nervous or scared or what. I don't know.
Right.
But
Right. Right.
it worked out pretty cool.
So you had to like play his material. Like, how many songs did you submit? Like, how was the process of submitting
Yeah,
stuff?
so they asked for like I want to say maybe three songs.
Okay.
So they I can't remember if they let me choose the songs or if they said I can't remember if they said for me to select the songs or if they selected the songs. I can't
Something for
remember,
you. Okay. Okay.
but I ended up playing three songs, and then also I chose another song that wasn't Usher's song that was just a song to kind of show some versatility.
Right. Right. Right.
So I submitted those songs and they checked it out. And out of, I don't know, Valdez, the music director, said it was probably like maybe 100 people or so that
Okay.
had submitted,
Wow.
and
Wow. Okay.
they chose me to be his drummer.
Amazing. Amazing. So how's your experience been with him? And somebody also asked, yeah, because we had asked a lot of people to send their questions, and one of them
Hmm.
asked me, which is your favorite Usher track to play live with him?
Oh man, My favorite Usher track to play probably is whatever the last song is of the night, because I know that the show is over, it's done, it's finished, and we can move on to whatever the next city. Um,
Right,
I like a lot of Usher songs because they all they had great vibe, great feel,
right,
and Usher
right.
always really like he will really let me play. Like he really fed off of the energy and the vibe, like
Amazing.
even to this day when you watch him, and check him out, like he's always vibing with his band because he loves music. So
Right,
that gig was just a lot of fun to play just based off of that. Like just being
right,
able to, lock in the music, but then also to have room to be expressive or room to be explosive at times. It was just
right.
a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
He gave you that freedom to put your music out and like
Oh,
be
very
yourself
much,
on stage.
very, very much so. And it's what's crazy is I feel like I don't even know if that I think that gig kind of helped shape me into who I am, because I feel like before that, um
Right.
oh, Rashawn, what up? I'm sorry, I'm seeing some of my fam
Okay.
like kind of
Yeah.
tuning in. Yeah, I think that gig helped to kind of shape me into the player that I am, or the player that everyone kind of knows me for. I
Right.
feel like when I got there with them, like with Johnny and with Valdez, like I felt like they really were pushing me into being what it is that everyone saw. Like I felt
Right.
like there were times when we were playing and we were working, and I'm playing, what I think is great, or what I
Right.
think is fantastic, and they were just like, yeah, we're gonna try that again. It was
Okay.
okay, but I mean, we needed to be a little bit more. It needs to have more aggression.
Aggression.
And
Right.
they really taught me about, how to really tap into, my feelings. Really tap
Right.
into being able to, play things, with a sensitive approach, or to be able to play things, aggressively, or to play things just the part, nothing else,
Right.
just, lock into the groove and play the parts, that the
Yes.
drum machine would play. They
Right.
taught me, so much that helped me to kind of carry on into to what it is that I'm doing now.
Amazing. Brilliant. So let's talk about your journey with Zildjian and like tell us about your development of the Zildjian Inspiration Pack that you guys came up with, and also your
hmm
signature sticks, which just released that now.
Oh man, so Harry, what up? So for me, Zildjian, dude, I played Zildjian, my entire life. Even as a kid
Wow.
in church, that is that was the symbols that were there. Like that
Okay.
Zildjian was just what I always remembered. So when I got my own
Right.
drums, at home, it had to be Zildjian. That's what I wanted.
Right.
So I don't know. To me, that was just always the sound. I think there were times where I may have kind of flirted around with playing. I don't know,
Yeah. Which was the
Sabian.
series that you first bought it? Which were your first Zildjian symbols?
Dude, I don't. I'll be honest with you.
You know.
I don't even remember that, because my parents they surprised me with my first drum set when I was
Okay.
10.
Wow.
And when I got the kit, it was a old Yamaha, um, what was it, a Yamaha recording custom, that
Okay.
had the oak interior, and it was the
Yes.
outer, the finish was like a chrome. I mean, it was a very unique kit.
Yeah.
But it was already, my parents had already had, Zildjian symbols and everything set up on it. It was, I think K's is
Nice.
pretty much what I was playing
Okay.
during that time. But yeah, I've always played Zildjian. Like I said, I kind of maybe floated around with um Sabian for a second, like when Dave Weckl left Zildjian and went to Sabian and created
Right.
the whole evolution line. I like those
HHX,
symbols,
yeah.
but I like those because they sounded like Zildjian. They sound like
Mm,
Zildjian symbols to me. So
right.
um, uh, outside of that and playing like a Wuhan China, I never
Okay.
played anything else. It's for me. It's always been Zildjian. Yeah.
Right, right. And what about the inspiration pack? Did you put together those symbols together, or how did that work with Zildjian?
Yeah, we talked about, we had discussed, you know, basically what we felt was needed in, like in a church, like at church, there's a certain sound, like you want to be able to have a ride that has is crashable, but at the same
Right.
time, like the definition and the articulation is extremely important. So we
Yes.
need something to represent that. So we went through a few things and
Mm,
chose that ride. Or we want the crashes to be able to have this sort of spread, not something that
right.
decays, super quick, but something that's going to kind of last for a little bit. We also think that these hats will probably best represent the music that's played there. So I mean, it was a really, really cool thing to be able. That was my first um, time actually collaborating with them on something like that. Like it was really cool
Okay.
for them to be able to come to me to um, just ask me my opinion. Mine and also others. I think they also went to Gerald and
Okay.
Gordon and Nissan. They went to a few, not Nissan, I'm sorry, Gordon and Teddy. They went to a few of us to ask, our opinion on what we thought and
Right.
how should this be. And it was really, really cool that they thought enough of us to be able to come to us to ask us our opinion.
Right. And what about the sticks, the new sticks which have just come out? Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah,
How's that?
man, my sticks, I'm very, really excited about them. Just because they're so different from what I played before. I don't. A lot of people. I don't know if you guys know that Vic Firth and Zildjian actually are like they're brother and sister company. They're under the
Yes.
same umbrella. So I played Vic for a long time, which has been fantastic for me. But
Right.
I got a chance to kind of make some changes to my stick and rebrand it and put it under the Zildjian umbrella, under the Zildjian
Right.
side. So the stick, I gave it a total overhaul. I made it a little bit more playable.
Right.
Um, I gave it a little bit of color. I'm trying to
Yes.
make it kind of fancy, you know. But I'm really pleased with it because it feels good and it's good to have the feedback that I've been getting from it. A lot of people like it, they dig it, and you know, I'm really, really thankful to be able to make that
Nice.
change. Yeah.
Also, a lot of people were asking questions about your setup with different artists when it comes to symbols. How different it is from, what will you use with somebody like an Ariana, on tour with her and, something else? Like, what is the difference in your symbol selection when it comes to different genres of music?
Yeah, so I just really believe that it's important to make sure that you have the right tools for the job.
Yes.
So depending on, what the music is, I feel like the symbols that you play should definitely reflect that.
Yes.
So I'm playing a gig like with Ariana, I want to make sure that the symbols that I have, that I like to have a balance. Like I like to have bright and I
Yeah.
also like to have some dark.
Dark.
So I have maybe there's a symbol that they make. It's a K custom fast crash.
Yes.
This is probably my favorite symbol right now.
Okay.
Um, it comes in 18 normally, but Zildjian was kind enough to make it for me in a 19.
Nice.
So this symbol to me is perfect because it's bright, but then also the decay is not one where it doesn't linger forever. Like it's got kind of like the most, to me, it has like the
Right.
most perfect spread. So um, this cymbal is one that I would use with R because it's great for cymbal swells. It crashes really well, um, and it feels great when I lay into it. Like when I crash into it, like it just
Right.
the wobble or the wave of the cymbal just feels really good.
Yeah.
That's important. Also, your ride selection is important because you want to make sure that um, it reflects the music. With Ari stuff, there's some songs that we may play that may take on kind of like depending on the arrangement, it may take on kind of
Right.
like a rock vibe. So I
Right.
want to be able to have a ride cymbal that I'm able to really crash. You know what I mean?
Right.
And,
Right.
if my music director is playing, the most amazing rock solo that I've ever heard, I want to be able to be there to support that. So
Yes.
it was really important to lock in and find a symbol that reflected that. I played a couple rides. I played um, the Zildjian 20th anniversary ride,
Yes.
the Brilliant Finish. I like that ride a lot because it has great definition.
Definition for
When you're
sure.
playing, like the bell, you're playing the shoulder. Like it's really,
Right.
really a great ride. But then also, it crashes really well. You know, so
Right.
I like that one a lot. I also was working with Paul on a like a ride symbol that we had kind of been going back and forth with. I ended up playing that probably for the second half of the tour.
Okay.
This ride is like the bottom was totally raw or like like unlaid.
Unfinished. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then the top was kind of finished in the pattern of like a K medium ride.
Wow.
So
Okay.
and the bell
Did
also
you
was
use
awesome.
this ride for the Zildjian Live event last year? Like the Zildjian Live event? There was
No.
a prototype one. I
Yeah,
didn't see the name
okay.
on it.
Yeah,
I
so that ride was how was it? That was like the mom of this ride because we started with that vibe,
okay.
and then we kind of took a turn and went into something else. So
Okay.
we ended up taking that and
Yeah.
creating and making what we made that I ended up playing for the rest of the tour. We
Right.
I don't know. I'm hoping that it's something that we'll be able to kind of get back into and kind of tweak and kind of make it what it should be. Because I would love to be able to have that out there for everybody to use. I
Yeah.
like the
I
symbol
would
of,
love to try out the Zildjian Live ride that you used. It sounded really amazing. Really
yeah,
amazing.
thank you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah.
That ride was really, that, that was not even, that ride wasn't even my idea. Like, that was a ride that came from, um, I don't even remember the gentleman's name. Paul would know. Paul Francis would know. This gentleman, he actually made this ride just kind of messing around, and
Okay.
he didn't. No one liked it. They thought it was weird, and I was like, man, I'd like to kind of mess around with it or kind of play it if it's cool, and they let me get it, and
Nice.
man, it just has such a unique tone and a unique look too, which is really cool.
Yes, yes, yes.
Really
As we are
cool.
talking about this, the Zildjian Life thing, there was a
hmm
question from someone in Bangalore asking, what is the time signature of the intro section of the song that you played with Spud?
it's in four. The whole thing is in four. It's just um, the way that he phrased it.
Okay,
It makes it sound like it's something else, but it's in four.
okay. It's just different accents, but the
hmm
time signature is still 4/4.
Yeah, uh-huh. And
Okay, okay.
it's in four, and it favors the shuffle groove, so it's like but 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 da da but 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 ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-ba, ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba, ba-ba-da, 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 boom, ah, boom, ah.
Right.
But it's
I think
it's
once you
that.
give us a quarter beat, it's still easier to understand. But without the quarter beat, it sounds like it's a different time signature, and
Yeah,
okay.
it's weird because the way that he wrote it and the way that he explained to play it,
Right.
it totally feels like it's something really really weird. But
Yes.
the quarters definitely kind of like bring it all together. You
Yes.
know.
Yes. 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 So we're just gonna take up some questions from
Cool.
some drummers from India who have sent me like a personal message yesterday because everyone was really really excited. We got insane amount of messages on the Zildjian India page as well.
Wow.
So I've just selected like a few of them, and
Okay.
we can just go through that. So there's this drummer called Kwab from Mumbai who's asking you how to practice for like a really tight groove to get a good tight groove and time feel, and how
hmm
to develop creative musical fills.
So for me, I feel like the best way, to actually to practice to develop, as far as like your groove and working on that sort of thing. To me, playing music really helps.
Yeah.
Playing to music really helps because
Okay.
when you're playing to music, it's like you already kind of have the blueprint of what's there, and really all you have to do is just kind of lock in and follow this particular blueprint. It's
Right.
like you don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel. It's like you got to drive. So I feel like that is a really really good start to be able to kind of like improve on like your timing and improve on
Right.
your groove. I think that's a really good way. For me, that's the way that's something that really helped me. Like
Okay.
when I was coming up, I would play the music constantly. Like that was just the way that I love to play.
Right.
So it was about putting on different records. Whether it was church records or whether it was um, like James Brown, or whether it was Earth, Wind,
Yes.
and Fire, or it was, Mint Condition, or I mean, it was always just music was always the constant, and it was so
Right.
cool because I didn't have access to be able to play with like a live band,
Right.
so this music would serve as my band. It would serve as the training ground for me to be able to play a bunch of different, styles of music.
Right.
It helped me to kind of dive into a whole bunch of different things as well, which is really cool. So I would say, you know, start there, man. Start playing to some of your favorite music, your
Okay.
favorite musical artists, stuff that you are comfortable with and stuff that you know. Just sit in and really lock in and play the music as if you are playing with that artist on stage. Like that's
Nice.
a really, really good way to kind of get into it, I think. And as
Right.
far as like the feels and the chops and stuff, um, I don't, the best way to approach it, I think, I feel like you want to make sure that the things that you play help to kind of guide the band, you know?
Okay.
So it's important to use your feels and your chops to kind of signal where we're going or what we're doing,
Right.
together as a band. If you're
Right.
going from the chorus going into a verse, then you would play something to signify, hey, we're moving
Right.
into, the chorus, or we're going from this last chorus into the outro of the song. Then I
Got
want
it.
to make sure that I'm playing something to signify, hey guys, we're getting ready to, move into the outro. And then at the
Outro.
end of the, what I'm saying? So think about it in that way first. This
Right.
is in a more musical kind of setting. So the way that you want to approach that is you want to make sure the things that you're playing don't really take away from the groove or
Right.
take away from the music. Like you want to make
Right.
sure that you kind of keep everybody together. I think one of the worst things is to be able to have the ability to play, the most crazy, incredible, earth-shattering, fills and chops, and to play them at the wrong time.
Yeah,
You
so
don't,
true.
you shouldn't use that as an opportunity to lose everybody in the band.
Right,
You're gonna play something that's just so sick and so wild that you
right,
just uh, totally lose everybody, and you make everyone feel kind of weird and unsure about their place, and that's not cool.
right,
So to try to think of ways to creatively be expressive, but also to make sure that you're kind of keeping people together. So that's
right, right.
important.
Cool. Uh, as we're talking about fills, there was a somebody from Guwahati, Siddharth, who wanted to know how do you use like bass drum effectively in your fills because most of them people use like your fills like toms and snare drums, but we've seen you using some incredible stuff with your foot and like the combination of hand and foot. So any points on that to work on?
Yeah, I mean, so for me, I feel like a lot of the things that I play, feel wise, that people are excited about, it's a lot of the linear stuff.
Yes.
So I mean, it's just a matter of taking. It's a matter of just kind of taking the simple things and kind of expounding on them. Like let's say like just a simple one. Like if I'm playing uh like a six stroke roll, instead of me
Yes.
playing right left right left, you know, I will play maybe right left kick kick. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I would try to kind of take it and put it into different places to where my foot would maybe take the place of my hands. You know what I mean?
Got it.
And then when I play that, maybe I'll put it on different surfaces to kind of make it to where it has a little bit of magic or a little bit of spice, where
Yes.
it just doesn't sound like it's a normal, regular thing that I'm playing. It sounds like it's something so incredible and so
Right.
magical
Right.
and amazing, but it's really not. It's really a lot of things are just super simple. It's just about how they're placed or where they're placed or where the
Yes.
substitution is, for my hands or my feet. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
just that's
So when you
kind of the
practice,
vibe.
do you particularly work on this during your practice routine, or most of the time it's also on stage at that particular moment, with the music, certain times certain things come in, or it is, how does it
Yeah,
work?
yeah. So for me now, I feel like these things that I'm playing, it's really just off the top of my head.
Okay.
So it happens on stage or it happens on stage. I would say there are sometimes, where I'm practicing where I might come across something I'm like, oh, I like that. That felt good. Let me really
Right.
work on that. Let me work to make sure that this is solid so that way I'll
Yes.
be able to play it effectively on stage. You know what I
Got it.
mean? It
Got
just
it.
really depends on what it is that I come across. There's certain things where I'm like, man, that would only work here in the practice room. That will
Right.
only work if I'm practicing and I'm playing by myself. Like this is not something that I would be able to actually play out on stage with everybody because
Got it.
it's a drummer thing. It's like this is
Yes.
a thing that my drumming friends will be like, "Whoa, that was crazy,"
Crazy. Yeah.
but not necessarily something that would be able to stand up in the music. You know what I mean?
True. Got it. Got it. Got it. Perfect. There's a question from Shravan from Bangalore. What was the practice routine to build speed and clarity in your initial days?
Ah, I'll tell you, man. One thing that I really used to do a lot, and to this day, well, of course not now because of social distancing, but
Yeah.
I would spend a lot of time playing and practicing with my friends. We would
Okay.
practice together. We would share it, which was really cool.
Yes.
Um, would have like a few drum sets set up in the room together,
Got
and
it.
we would play. And the cool thing about that was the vibe that everyone had. It wasn't so much about trying to outdo the next person. Like that wasn't the vibe at all. It was
Right.
really about us coming together to learn from each other,
Yes.
and then also coming together to like make each other better. It was
Yes.
really cool because I would see things that a friend would do, and I would
Right.
take what he played, and I would try to kind of play it in my own way, or
Right.
I would see maybe uh, it would be a groove or something that someone would introduce that would kind of, kind of change the vibe of the room. But then
Right.
also when it came down to like playing chops or playing licks or growing faster or just growing,
Right.
that particular room was such a training ground because it was like when you're playing over top of three or four different drummers,
Right.
everything you have to play, it has to be clean.
Got
It
it.
has to be, it has to speak differently. So I
Correct.
feel like that was a great place for me to be able to kind of grow, um, as far as ideas, to be able to grow as far as my speed. Like those places just they just helped me to be able to be better.
Yeah. So Shravan, the sharing with drummers is very, very important and
I
with good
think I think
drummers.
so. I think yeah, for sure. Just it just
Yeah.
helps to you know it just helps it makes you better. To have
Right.
somebody kind of pushing with you, I
Got
think
it.
it helps a lot.
Right. Okay. So one last question. This is from Roger Menezes from Mumbai. How did you work on like odd time signature and getting like really comfortable with it in your earlier days?
Roger, I would say for me, what really helped me a lot is really just doing it. I
Okay.
feel like the more you do it, the more you play,
Right.
um, the more it becomes natural. It's just like anything else in life. The more you do something, the more you become, a master of it. Like right now, I'm sure, like if I asked you, to take a walk from your home, outside and back
Yeah.
in, like you would be able to do that without any problem because this is
Yeah.
something that you've been doing for a while. You might even be able to
Yes.
do it with your eyes closed because this is something
Right.
that you just have been able,
Do every
to
day.
to
Yeah.
do every day. You're so used to it. You're a
Right.
master at it.
Right.
So the same thing in playing um, with odd time. I feel like
Yeah.
the more that you do it, the better you become at it.
Yeah.
So one thing that I feel like really helped me was instead of me counting, every single quarter note or every eighth note,
Okay.
what I would like to do is I count the halftime. So like
Okay.
if I'm playing in seven, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I count the halftime, so I'll say 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
and 1, 2, 3, and because the pulse is still there, but
Okay.
for me, I just feel like it helps to simplify things to where I'm not focused on every single note. It's like I can kind of groove. And like I said, all the properties are still there, but it's just the way that I choose to address it. It feels better to me. It makes it a little bit. It makes it less complicated. It makes it easier for me. And
Yeah.
that can be applied to every time signature, every odd time. If it's five, if it's seven, if it's nine, if whatever.
Got it.
However however far you trying to go, it's there. But I
Got it.
will
Got it.
say start with that, and then it's just the more you do it, the better you're going to become at it. So
Right.
just
So is it like
don't be
muscle
afraid.
memory as well? Like a lot of muscle memory, especially you just got to give it to your muscle so that they get used to it after a certain time and it
I,
becomes much more fluid on the kit and stuff.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like, like I said, the more you do it, the easier it just becomes part of you. It's just like
Got it.
when you sit down to play a groove. If you just playing, just straight two, 2 and 4,
Yeah.
four on the floor, and 2 and 4 on the snare. It's just you just snap right into it.
Yes.
You just used it's part of you.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. You playing odd time and you working on that. It's something that it'll become easier the more you do it.
Nice. I still remember the one thing you played in seven back in Mumbai when you were
Mm,
here for the Zildjian event, and that
yeah,
was
yeah,
just
yeah.
incredible. It was just incredible, man.
I appreciate it,
Uh,
man. It's crazy. I just saw the video that you sent me of you playing with the tabla player, man. That was
oh
crazy.
yeah.
It was so many time signatures floating around there, man. It was
No,
insane.
thank you, man. Thank you. It's basically a concept wherein you got to end before the one. So it's on four
Mm,
hour. Anything that you play, you got to end it on 4 hour. Is
for
the concept? Yeah.
crazy.
So yeah, it's fun. It's fun. So I think we're just gonna take a one last message from out here from the people. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. This is amazing. So many messages. Uh, okay.
Man, I gotta say what's up to my guy Shiva. I
Oh
miss you,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah,
I,
he's good.
I
He's gonna
gotta
be
I gotta get
back
back.
next week.
I gotta get back there, man, to India, bro. I feel like
Yes,
my time there was so short. Like I had a good time. I enjoyed it so much, but man, I gotta get back there.
yes. We got to get you some samosas and get back to the Taj Mahal this time.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yeah. Brilliant. Okay, so this is the last question is if there are a few things you would tell young musicians to keep in mind while they're working hard to see be on the path to greatness, what would that be from Ronnie?
One thing for sure that I would say, man, is and this during this age and during this time where we have, access to so many different people who are posting, just so much content, and you see like the finished product of things that are just fantastic and so great. Um, do not let those things put too much pressure on you. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times you see those things and you're just like, oh man, I'll never be able to play like that person, or I'll never be able to do the things that they're doing. And you can't let that um, affect your journey. Everybody's
Yes,
journey is going to be different. Everybody's ability is different. I mean, we are all as unique as our fingerprints. You know what I mean? So the way that you move and the way that you grow and the way that you learn is going to be different than this person's. So you don't want to allow the things that you see um, to put too much weight on you or to negatively affect you. At the end of the day, we're playing, we're having fun,
fun.
so you want to really focus on that. You want to focus on uh, enjoying what it is that you do. Now, I'm not saying don't pay attention to those things. I'm not saying don't pay attention to what people are playing or what they're doing, because it's a wave, and I feel like it's important to be aware and to be able to see what people are doing and what they're playing or creatively, because I feel like those things may help to spark something in you. But
Yes,
I'm saying do not let those things that you see, don't let them affect you to the point where it's like, uh, don't let it affect you negatively. Don't put too much pressure on yourself in order to be great. It's coming. Just stay focused, have fun, be inspired. Move that way. Don't let those things that you see really. It's crazy to see like people are so like they see these things and just they don't realize that what you're watching is a video that someone took hours and hours to be able to
to get
put
there.
together, like
So true.
a 1 minute Instagram video. Like they played this particular thing, you know 20 times. you know what I'm saying, or 50
Right.
times, or they got the lighting just right, or they tweaked the sound, so it's like you see these things that last for 1 minute, but you don't know what all went into it, and you are
So true.
basing your whole musical existence based on what it is that you see in this 1 minute clip. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like just
Wow.
take from it what it is that it is, these great conversations, but use that as inspiration and not to measure yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's important.
Amazing.
You
I
gotta
think
have
this
fun,
is
man.
this is beautiful. This is like I think the best advice I think the youngsters and the upcoming drummers can take. This is perfect, man. Thank you so much, Aaron. This has been
My pleasure,
such a
man.
pleasure, man. Such a pleasure. A big thank you from myself and Zildjian India for being a part of this. And we really hope to see you back in Mumbai soon. And just
Oh, let's
stay
do it.
safe. And yes, we're gonna speak to Kim and Sarah, and we'll see that you're gonna be back soon. Hopefully next year. Let's see.
For sure,
Stay
man. I
safe. You know,
appreciate it.
stay safe.
Appreciate you,
Thank you
man.
so much.
Thank you, guys. Y'all be safe. All right.
Thank you. Thank you,
All
Aaron.
right. Take
Thank you,
care.
Jay. Thanks.
Peace.
Yes, guys. So that was the one and only Aaron Spears. Thank you so much once again for joining in on the Zildjian Talk with Darshan Doshi. And I'm going to be back next week, Saturday, with a new guest. And we're going to get to know more about them. And as Aaron said, just be focused. Don't think about the other things which are happening around you. As you said, YouTube and other things are good, but you need to use it in a positive way. So work on that and have a good week. And I will see you next week with a new guest. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.